What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another Springbok player rating. Last time we did the forwards and you guys really enjoyed it. Today we're doing the backs. So let's get right into it. Obviously there was a lot of players capped this season for the Springboks, and the way the ratings work is it's basically rating the player against their past performances. I don't really think I can rate, like for instance in the forwards, I can't really rate Zachary Porton compared to Pieter-Steph du Toit right now. It's got to be relative. So that's why I gave Zachary Porton a 7, because I thought he had a very good debut season for him. But if we were rating him compared to Pieter-Steph du Toit, it would be a lot different. But yeah, so let's go right into the backs. There's some very exciting ones here. You can definitely see a clear picking order change from these ratings, and it's going to be very interesting. So let's get right into it. So what we can see from the backs is that we are building to the future, and the backs really played to their strengths this year. Compared to last season's where it was more a kick, chase game, slow game, try to win at our own pace, maybe kick to the corner, maul over, not really playing too expansive. We saw a lot more Tony ball this year, as they say. I mean, Tony Brown's made a very good impact on this backline. You can really see it. I mean, he's made a big impact on the whole attack for the whole team. So let's get right into it. I mean, Faf de Klerk only played twice this year. Very disappointing season from him. Rassie said he's not out of the system, but it definitely looks like he's being moved out of the system, and he definitely looks like the fourth choice right now. But I still definitely think he has a role in the team going forward. Because, I mean, if you look at the World Cup, he's still a World Cup winning Scrum-half. He's not too old as well. If he can move back to the Prem and play for a good Prem side and get some very good games out there, some good performances, then he could be pulled back in maybe as a third choice, and if an injury occurs, maybe a second choice. But I've given him a 6 out of 10. Could be lower, but I don't think he played bad when he played with the Springboks. He definitely didn't play bad. He just didn't play as much, and his role just isn't the same anymore, it seems. But hopefully he can get back to what he was. And yeah, it's very interesting up there because you have the likes of Morne van der Berg, who had a good season. You have Kobus Reinach, who had an excellent season. And you had Grant Williams, who's just one of the best scrum-halves in the world. So it's going to be tough for him. Okay, moving on to Morne van der Berg. I've gone for a 7 out of 10. It seems like the coaches like him. I mean, he got 4 tries and 5 starts. So he's a very, very good player. And he's very dangerous around the park. I thought throughout the season he got much better. And there was something Rassie said, which was quite funny. He said, Morne van der Berg, every time they chose him, he only played in wet weather games and rainy games, which was much more difficult for a scrum-half. Somehow it always ends up being a rainy game or a wet game, and they just want to see him play in dry conditions. But every time he has played in the wet, rainy conditions, the Springboks have won and they've played well. I'm thinking to Australia last year, thinking to some of the games this year as well, like the Japan game at Wembley. So yeah, no, he'll get more chances going forward, and he's a good player. I mean, there is a lot of young players going through as well. I mean, Jaden Hendricks had a good game last week. Hashim Pete had an excellent season for the under-20s, and there's some really good players coming through. But I do think going into 2027, I think Morne van der Berg will be the guy they'll choose maybe for the 3rd or 4th choice. And he's not a bad player at all. And I mean, he's playing some really good rugby for the Lions as well. So a 7 out of 10 for him. Moving on to Kobus Reinach. I thought Kobus Reinach had an excellent season. Probably his best Springbok season yet. So I was looking back at the 2023 World Cup, and I didn't realize how much of an impact and how much game time he actually had. I know we also, Faf was number 1, Faf was this, Faf was that, but Kobus Reinach started a lot of the games in the World Cup, so he's a big time player. And I mean, this year, just think of some of the things he did. That try against France, some of the beautiful tries he scored this year. At the start of the season, I thought, okay, maybe he's playing a bit slow, but as the season progressed, he just was so quick with the ball. He was so confident in his decisions, and him and Sasha really linked well together. And that's what I wrote down here. It's really good that Sasha and Kobus Reinach are now a combination and playing together at the Stormers, because I think those two, if they can get more game time together, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they could be the best combination in world rugby for 9 and 10 in the next few seasons. And I'm really excited to see how they get on, not even at Springbok level, but at club level as well, because if they can be successful there, then they can definitely translate that into the Springboks, which they already have. So really looking forward to that. For Grant Williams, I've gone for a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it was Grant Williams was amazing this year, but I don't think it was his best season compared to other seasons we've seen. I thought last year Grant Williams was phenomenal. I still think he was very good this year, and he had a very important role in the team. And he is a very, very important player for the Springboks, especially if they were to go with a 7-1 bench or a 6-2 bench, because he can play wing, he could maybe play fullback, and he can play scrum-half very well. So, I mean, he played wing quite a lot this year as well, so it just shows his versatility, and he's a very versatile player. So Grant Williams, 7.5 out of 10. Really good player this year. I'm really looking forward to see how he gets on in the next few seasons as well. Handré Pollard, he had a bit of a disappointing season this year. Now, he's probably the third choice fly-off right now, I'd say, but he's still very important. I mean, think about what he's done for South African rugby. 2019 World Cup, kicked us in the final to the win there. 2023 World Cup, in multiple games, he kicked us to the win there. Clutch moments as well, especially off the bench. He's still that clutch, important player. I mean, his kicking for goal percentage is so high, and he's a good player. I just don't think right now he kind of fits in. I don't think he fits in the best with the Tony ball that Tony Brown's trying to play. I still think compared to Manie Lebok and Sasha Feinberg and Gormazut, he struggles with the natural playmaking ability with that, if that makes sense. He's still an amazing player, and I think if there's going to be certain games, certain conditions where he's going to be the starter, he's going to be the guy we want to play. But I think when it comes to that natural attacking ability and the way that the Springboks seem to be moving in that direction of attack, I just don't think he suits that right now. But it's not to say he can't. He's still a young player. I mean, everybody thinks he's an old player because he's been playing for many years, but he's still a very young player. I mean, wasn't he 20 or 21 in the 2015 World Cup? So he's still got a long way to go. I mean, he's still in his 20s, so yeah. He's got a long way to go in his career, and I think he'll still be able to work his way up. And I think after this World Cup, if he makes it to the 2031 World Cup, he'll have a very important role maybe on a bench player, from a bench player perspective, maybe in the centres from the bench or something like that. But I think he's going to have a good role in this team going forward, and he's still a very important player. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for Andre Pollard, unfortunately. He'll be looking to make his way back up the fly-half rankings, but we'll be doing a video based on the power rankings for the fly-halves in World Rugby and all the positions, so stay tuned, guys. Manie Lebok. Now, a lot of people, every time I speak good about Manie Lebok, they come at me in the comments and they say, you don't know anything, all this nonsense. Manie Lebok is a very good player, and he is a very important player for the Springboks. I've given him an 8 out of 10. He's clearly the second choice fly-off now. He's made a great impact off the bench this year, especially with Grant Williams. They're a bit of a 1-2 punch combination, just like Kobus Reinach and Sasha Ngomezulu are. I think you can't separate those two now. It's got to be Kobus Reinach and Sasha and Grant Williams and Manie Lebok. I think they played extremely well together. Just some games I thought they played well. I mean, the Ireland game, Manie Lebok came on and made a big impact. The France game as well, especially that game in Wellington against the All Blacks. Manie Lebok had an incredible game. And this year, his kicking percentages have been much better. As you can see, he's made quite a few adjustments to his kicking. He doesn't place the ball as flat anymore. He places it a bit more upright. His run-up shorter. He takes less time before he kicks the ball. Just key fundamental stuff that he's done. He's changed to his kicking style, which has made it a much more consistent, and he can get a lot more out of it. So I'm really impressed with Manie Lebok this year. I thought he was phenomenal for the Springboks. I thought he was outstanding, and I'm really looking forward to see how he goes. I mean, that try he scored against Argentina and Durban as well. I like seeing Manie Lebok play like that, because there was a time where I thought, okay, he's trying to play like Andre Pollard now, just passing the ball, not really attacking the gain line and not trying to get over the advantage line. But now this year, he really attacked the other teams on attack, and he just showed that he is a true baller. He is an absolute baller, and he's one of my favorite players to watch. So we have to really appreciate Manie Lebok while he's here, especially the guys that hate on him in my comments. Just take another look. I know he had a few seasons where his kicking was terrible, but as a player, he's a very good player. Yes, he does play on the edge a lot. He does play on the edge. He'll go for the 5-meter kick every time, which sometimes might not go his way. I can remember the one kick, was it against France or Ireland? It was just a very wayward kick, or it was Italy, I think. But yeah, he's a very good player, and just keep an eye on him. He's gonna do so much good for the Springboks in the next few seasons, especially off the bench, I think. Now moving on to the next guy, Sasha Ngomezulu. For Sasha Ngomezulu, I've gone for a 9.5 out of 10. I've only given one player a 10 out of 10, and it was Malcolm Marx. I think if Sasha won World Player of the Year, maybe he would have got 10 out of 10. The 0.5 I've deducted from Sasha Ngomezulu is only for some of his missed kicks that have been creeping in over the last few games. That's the only thing. Other than that, he is the best fly-off in the world. He is the best fly-off in the world right now, and I firmly believe that. Trust me, a year ago I was like, guys, don't hype him up too much yet. Let him first get some seasons in. But now I firmly believe he's one of the best fly-offs in the world. Actually, I believe he is the best fly-off in the world. He is such a good player. He's just taken a different step this year. And every time I see like behind the scenes things of him, like with the Stormers and stuff, he's just an absolute professional. He's an absolute winner. And I feel like he's studied different players from different sports, the way his mindset is and the way he goes about things he does. Because he's just such a good player. And I feel like he definitely could have been watching Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods or Ronaldo back in the day, because he embodies a lot of what those guys have, and like their confidence, the way they lead, and just the things they do on the field. I mean, he's just such a good player, and I think he's going to play even better next year, and he's going to be so important for the Springboks going forward. It's very important that the Storm has signed him till 2029, because I think him and Kobus Reinach keeping that combination, and even when Kobus Reinach decides to hang up his boots, I think there's other scrum-halves who are really good, who could be future Springboks that would really benefit playing alongside him. And I think there's going to be a lot of guys getting better alongside him as well. I mean, the likes of Ivan Roos, Paul de Villiers, Wandisile Milani, Warwick Galant. I mean, him and Damian Willemse together as well. Really key combinations which can go into the Springbok setup and still dominate at an international level. So yeah, Sasha Ngomazulu, 9.5 for me. World class, best fly-off in the world, probably best backline player in the world as well. Now moving on to the backbone of the backline, Damian de Allende. He's the absolute backbone of this backline for the Springboks, and I've given him an 8 out of 10. I thought he had a very solid season. He's an extremely good player. He's all over the park. I probably could give him higher, but I'm just rating him against other seasons, and he always delivers. He absolutely always delivers. So yeah, Damian de Allende, I've gone for an 8 out of 10. Such a good player, so important for the Springboks. Probably the Springboks' most important player right now. If you were to think about it, he might just be the Springboks' most important player. Either between him and Damian Willemse, I think, are probably the two most important players in the Springboks right now. Trust me, Sasha probably is there as well, but I mean, there is two other world-class fly-offs that can step in. But I think right now, Damian de Allende and Damian Willemse are probably the two most important players in the backline. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for him. Jesse Creel, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. I thought he's always solid. He had a very solid season. He's always a trustworthy choice. I just thought there were some games where Canan Moodie maybe looked a bit better than him. But then Jesse Creel came right back, took his opportunity. He's a leader in this team. He can captain this team any week, any game. He can captain this team, and no player will ever complain. He's a leader. He's a great player. 7 out of 10. Could bump it up to a 7.5, but I'm going to keep it as a 7 because I don't want to be too generous now. Because I don't want to be too generous. I still got to do all the country's teams as well. So yeah, solid season, very trustworthy choice for the Springboks. And him and Damian de Allende are just, they work so well together. I'd like to see him and Andre Esterhuizen get a few caps together as well. Just from a perspective of if a player gets injured, they can just slot in seamlessly. But I think we have very, very good centres, and the Springboks are fine in that department, to be honest. Next, I've gone for Andre Esterhuizen. For Andre Esterhuizen, I've gone for an 8.5 out of 10. This is because I firmly believe this is Andre Esterhuizen's best season ever for the Springboks that he's had. His best ever international season. Not just because of the way he played in the forwards, just because of the way he played. I mean, some of the things he did. For me, his highlights of the year, people might not remember this. His highlights of the year for me was the skip pass he gave. Probably, it doesn't have a weak side, but the skip pass he gave to the right, was it to Colby or was it to Ethan Hooker against the All Blacks? No, it was to Colby against the All Blacks in Wellington. He gave one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life. A bullet flat pass, and it just shows how versatile and how skilled he is. So I've gone for an 8.5 out of 10. I think he will be one of the most important players in the coming years for the Springboks, just because of the role he is playing now on the bench. I think he'll be probably one of the most important bench players alongside the likes of Avokulo, Arge Snyman, and maybe Hendrik Wessels. I mean, he can play forwards and he can play backs now. And he dominated in the forwards as well. He doesn't just, I heard this thing that the commentator said, he doesn't just play forwards, he dominates in the forwards as well. So, I mean, some really good tries. His mauling ability now has become really good, especially against France. That game really surprised me. But he seamlessly has slot into the forwards as well. And he's a very key figure in the Springboks team. Probably one of the most important players in this team right now. So, yeah, Andre stays an 8.5 out of 10. He deserves it. Canan Moodie, I've gone for an 8 out of 10. I thought he had a solid season, probably one of his better seasons. Is he a wing? Is he a centre? Is he a fullback? I think I prefer him on the wing right now still, just because of his high ball ability. He's so good under the high ball. He is such an athlete under the high ball. I mean, he must have done high jump back in the day because he just jumps so much higher than everyone else. And the thing that really impressed me about Canan Moodie this year is his confidence to beat defenders one-on-one. I didn't actually know he had that good of an ability to beat defenders one-on-one, and I really enjoy it when an outside back or a wing takes a different player on around the outside, which we haven't really seen that much of in recent years. People, they prefer stepping in or using a grubber to get past, but actually using your feet with a goose step or just pure speed to beat the player on the outside. Canan Moodie's got that, so yeah, can slot in at 13 in any game, can slot in on the wing at any game, and he will be phenomenal. 8 out of 10 for Canan Moodie. Incredible season. Moving on to one of the debutants this year, one of my favourite players in this team, Ethan Hooker. Ethan Hooker, nominated for Breakthrough Player of the Year. Didn't win it, of course, but still very, very much deserved the nomination. Really young player, only 21 now, or 22. No, he's 21. Ethan Hooker, I've given an 8 out of 10. I thought Ethan Hooker was phenomenal this year. I could probably bump it up, but then I'd have to bump up some other ratings as well. But yeah, Ethan Hooker, I've gone for an 8 out of 10. Whether he plays wing, whether he plays centre, I think his future is in the centres, especially if you look at what's happening at the Sharks now. JP Peterson's made such an important decision for his career and such a good decision for his career, putting him at centre for the Sharks, because I think that's where his future is. But I mean, at the wing, he slotted in so seamlessly, and that just shows what type of player he is. He's only been playing wing for 1 year, people. He's only been playing wing for 1 year. And he's already nearly got man of the match against New Zealand in New Zealand as a wing. After his first year of playing wing. When he grew up, because I watched him from high school, he played 12 in high school. In his grade 11 year in high school, he played 8th man because they had a very good number 12 there, so they had to just move them around. So he can play forwards as well if need be. He can do it in Estazen as well, but he is a 12, he is a centre, and right now he seems to be slotting in well at 13 for the Sharks. So I definitely think that's where his future is. And I definitely see a future centre combination of him and Canan Moodie. I definitely do. I know there's some other centres like Henku van Wyk, Lorenzo Julius coming through the pipeline, but I'm talking about the guys that are there now. I think Ethan Hooker really will play centre in the future, and I'm really excited to see how he goes. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for him. Phenomenal debut season. Can't wait to see how he goes. He will be a 50 cap Springbok, maybe even 100 cap, because he just gets it done. He just gets his job done. He just gets the hard work done. And if you look at the behind the scenes videos for the Sharks, he's a leader. I mean, in a locker room that has Sia Khaleesi, Etzebeth, Umbanambi, Oxenchair, Mapimpi, and those guys, he still speaks up. So that just says a lot about him as a person and as a leader. So yeah, very good season for Ethan Hooker. Kurtley Arendse, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. I thought he had a very good season. He's a try-scoring machine. The only reason I've gone for a 7 is because he was very unfortunate with injuries and just didn't get as much game time as I was hoping he would get. He was still the guy that played the most game time in his position, but not nearly as much as I would have liked. He is probably my tied favourite player in the Springboks backline. I think him and Damian Willemse are my 2 favourite players to watch for the Springboks. I mean, obviously Sasha and Ngomezulu as well, but I just love watching Kurtley Arendse play. It just looks like he does everything so effortlessly, and he's just so good. He's just so good at rugby. So 7 out of 10. Not a disappointing season, a good season for him. He's still a try-scoring machine. He was just unfortunate with injuries. If he played more, he definitely would have been up there in the 8s and 9s because, I mean, he's world-class and probably one of the best wings in the world. Now we're going on to Cheslin Kolbe. Cheslin Kolbe affects the game in so many ways, not just try-scoring. And this is actually a funny stat. I saw that Kurtley Arendse in his career has more tries for the Springboks than Cheslin Kolbe, which kind of surprised me because it feels like Cheslin Kolbe's been there a bit longer, but Cheslin Kolbe just affects the game in different ways. And obviously Cheslin Kolbe played in a period for the Springboks where they didn't score that many tries using the backs as much. It was more forward dominated, close contested kind of tries, so it makes sense. But yeah, he affects the game in so many ways. He's such a strong ball carrier. You can play him as a first receiver off the scrum to crash it up as well, because he runs over people. He runs over people nowadays. He's a very strong defender. He's one of the best players in the air. His aerial game is phenomenal. It's world class. And I mean, Springboks this year were just absolutely incredible in the air. Every single team they played against, they beat in the air. And if a team can beat the Springboks in the air, then the Springboks will struggle, but they haven't. And these small wings, who they used to say, size matters, these guys are too small to be playing Springboks, are the guys winning these aerial battles and aerial collisions. So that just shows size doesn't really matter. It's these athletes, the athletic ability, how high they can jump, how explosive they are, how much they really want it. And I can tell you right now, Cheslin Kolbe probably wants it the most. He just never gives up. So I've gone for an 8 out of 10 for him. Phenomenal player, one of the best players in the world, and we're really going to miss him one day when he retires. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Now, Apelele Farsi. This is a disappointing one. He got an injury early on in the season, and he was really looking to have a very big season this year for the Springboks and the Sharks. So, very unfortunate timing for that injury. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. He'll look to get more games in 2026, and I think with his injury, Damian Willemse has just surpassed him and just moved clear of him in the pecking order. I think Damian Willemse this year has just moved clear. But I still think Apelele Fassi has a big role in the squad and a big future in the squad as well. I mean, if you look at post-2027, towards 2031, there's some incredible young backline players. I mean, you still have Grant Williams, you still have Mone van der Berg, you have the likes of Hashim Pete, you have Mani Lebok still. You still have Andre Pollard, Sasha Ngomezulu. You have Andre Esterhuizen, who's a bit younger than Jesse Kriel, and Damian de Allende. You have Kanan Moody, Ethan Hooker, Damian Willemse. You could slot him in at 12 anyways as well. You have Kurtley Arendse, and then of course you have Apelele Fassi. So really exciting times after the next World Cup, and I'm excited to see how Rassie and the coaches manage the shift from this group of players, where the main crop is like a Sia, Peter Steph Tutoy, Eben Etzebeth, Damian de Allende, Jesse Kriel, Faf de Klerk, to where it might become a Ruan Norkia, Thomas Tutoy, some other players we have there, the likes of Elrich Lowe, some other players as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But Fassi has a bright future for the Springboks. He's still the second choice fullback, and no doubt if an injury happens somewhere in the backline, he can seamlessly slot in. Probably the best backline player under the high ball for the Springboks, and that just says a lot because there's so many incredible players under the high ball. So yeah, Apelele Fassi is 6, unfortunately for him. Moving on to Vali Leroux, got his 100th cap, amazing for him. He definitely has been shifted out the squad. I mean, he's an older player now, but he got his 100th. That's huge for him. I've gone for a 5 out of 10. I'm going to boost it up to a 6 out of 10 just because he got his 100th cap, but he's definitely out the squad now. He's done so much for Springbok Rugby. He's been such a stalwart for the Springboks team. 100th cap, and he played through some of the tough times for the Springboks as well, but he's a double World Cup winner. He showed why he needs to be there, and he's definitely going to still have an impact on the squad, whether it's as a player, as a coach, as a consultant. Somewhere in the squad, there's going to be some sightings of Vali Leroux, and I know it. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for Vali Leroux. Thank you for everything you've done for the Springboks. Moving on to Damian Willemse. Damian Willemse had a slow start to the season because he was coming back from an injury, maybe feeling out where he is in the squad, his style of play. But since then, he's been exceptional. He's been absolutely exceptional. And I really, truly believe if there was a few more games that Damian Willemse played this year, he would have been nominated for World Player of the Year. I truly believe that. For me, I've gone for a 9 out of 10 for Damian Willemse. He had a slow start, but he ended up being probably the best player in the backline besides Sasha and Ngomezulu. I mean, they were definitely tied for the best backline players this year, and I think he was just phenomenal. A few more games, he would have been nominated for World Player of the Year. I mean, the game he played at number 12 in Wellington was probably some of the best rugby I've seen in my life. Probably one of the best performances individually I've seen ever. So it just shows that he can put 10 out of 10 performances in against the All Blacks in New Zealand. He has such a high ceiling, and I've always said I want to see him play at 12. So I think in the next World Cup cycle, I'd really like to see him play at 12 because he is physical. He's a big guy. People don't really realize how big he is. He's probably the same size as de Allende, maybe even a bit more muscular as well. So he's got a big future, and I think long term, his future might be at 12 for the Springboks. Because can you imagine this now? You have the likes of Sasha at 10, Willemse at 12, Fassi at fullback, with the likes of Ethan Hooker at 13, with a Moody on the wing. Imagine that in the future going forward. That is solid. That is world class. So yeah, that is it. That would be exceptional. One more player, Edward van der Merwe, had a really good debut season this year. He was on fire before his injury. I mean, he had some incredible games this year, scoring tries for fun, but unfortunately did get injured. So I've gone for a 7.5 out of 10. I thought he had a very good season this year. Obviously, he made his debut against Wales last year, but this was his true debut season. So yeah, unfortunate with injuries, definitely going to be in the squad long term. Incredible player. Glad to see him at the Sharks as well. But yeah, these are the backline ratings, guys. Let me know if you agree with them in the comments down below. I mean, there's some that some people probably won't agree with, and there's some that people might agree with. Some key stand-up players in the backline this year, we're talking about Kobus Reinach, Sasha Ngomezulu, Damian Willemse, de Allende, Moody, Ethan Hooker, and Cheslin Colby. Some really outstanding players. I'm really excited to see how they get on in 2026. I think there might be a few more youngsters in the squad next year. Maybe the likes of Hashim Pede, and probably my favorite under-20 player. I'd really like to see Cheswell Uester get in the team because he is phenomenal. Cheswell Uester is phenomenal. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see that, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. I mean, only been doing this for about a month now, and really appreciate all the support. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.